Center College going up against U of L Red. Could be fun.
Yeah, I would call this a pretty big game for the Colonels, coming off the University of Kentucky land contest where they took down this team in exhibition play, but you know, U of L might come back with another life and put up a much better fight here. We'll just have to wait and see.
Yeah, we also see the U of L's doing really well in this bracket so far. They are 4-1. So this is a really big game for the Colonels. Out of the jump, we do see a Diva pick into Zarya, so this will be fun to see.
What I'm seeing here early from center is that they're rolling out a comp very similar to what we've seen in Overwatch League the past few days, with the exception of Kiriko. And now Overwatch League is on a different patch as the live server right now, but I'd say, you know, it's a good-looking comp for the Colonels.
It's true. We do see a mirror in both of the DPS, both sides as well, but pretty drastically different support lines here.
Not much happening so far. Both teams just chipping damage in, but there's the first
early pick on Sean by Galvanijo. And it looks like they're moving to cap point early and then apply the pressure right back on to U of L Red.
Yeah, U of L kind of giving into the space that center is trying to create here, even though they only went down one team member.
Ooh. Immortality field forced out by U of L Red though, which is a pretty big deal.
I'd be looking for Who's James to take strong advantage of the long sight lines you see on either side, as well as down the middle of this map with Busan.
Yeah. We do see a quick swap off the Diva onto Zarya on the side of U of L Red as well. Ooh, jumped in by the Reaper here.
Galvanijo's got the Graviton Surge after taking down the Moira for U of L.
Looks like he's not sitting on it either. Decision. That's something Center I think has improved on since the last time they played.
Galvanijo taking the initiative there to get the fight win for Center, as they have both support ults as well as their Sojourn Overclock to work off of in the next engagement.
Yeah, and Vector's not far off of his Death Blossom as well.
Yeah, I'd really like to see U of L come in quick with the Kiriko ultimate, and hopefully
run down mid straight to point. To force them off of that high ground advantage that Center seems to have. Ooh, Greg gets a quick pick on Chonky Ghost here, forcing out the beat from Ada, but it isn't enough to save them the point peak.
Yeah, U of L did a great job of getting in quick, but Who's James tries his best to salvage the situation to no avail.
The quick pick on Chonky Ghost really hurt Center there, losing their main support, and you know that Kiriko being on the board is hard to come back from. Ooh, grab coming out by U of L Red here, and the Coalescence looking like it'll clean up Center College.
Not a full team wipe though, as Who's James appears to make it out and back to
James
spawn.
and Adam back to spawn, which is good for them.
Center's got their Death Blossom here that can come out from Vector, so I'd like to see Adam, you know, take the initiative, try and get the point as quick as U of L did on day
Also,
one.
forcing out Bubbles and Bell could be very beneficial for Center here. Ooh, early TP.
Vector opts not to try and take out the Kiriko and instead favors the Zarya. He's still got that.
But I think he's going for it.
There it is. Vector gets one, gets two.
And that should be the fight for Center College.
A great ultimate from Vector. Very well timed to avoid the possibility of death.
However, we run into a bit of an issue with Sean coming up with his Death Blossom now.
Yeah, Galvanijo has to be very careful about his bubble usage, and Adam has to be careful about his speed boost. There's a lot that Center can do to negate the Death Blossom's capabilities, but you know, they have to be very particular and proactive about it.
That's true. Center's got to be on the lookout for using that Immortality field at the most pristine moment.
Chonky Ghost coming up on his window here.
Ooh,
there's the Death Blossom from U of L. Does nothing but kill the lamp, and Chonky Ghost is doing work from the back line here.
What an Immortality field, honestly. saving the life of Galvanijo and I think their Adam as well.
Yeah, great work from center in that last fight.
It's around.
Playing defensively to a T. The Immortality Field from Chonky Ghost saves Galvanijo and allows him to do more work on the front line. And then the Amplification Matrix, directly after, allowed center to retake control of the tempo.
Yep, I think the like swapping between abilities being used and knowing when to use that Immortality Field really came in clutch there against the Death Blossom, saving Galvanijo's life.
Yeah, I believe Galvanijo also came out with a bubble or two right as the Death Blossom was used, and that further aided his ability to survive.
Alright, we're seeing a swap off of Zarya by Galvanijo in the mirror match on the supports now. Oh, just kidding. Chonky goes swapping into Moira here, opting for more heals over the utility of Immortality Field window.
And one ability I'm interested to see how it kind of works on this high ground here in this first fight is that Sojourn Magnet Grenade ability. I think it can really
early hit on Adam here. I think that will turn the tempo into the side of Evo Red.
Galvanijo facing a lot of pressure in the front line.
Yeah, being down his speed boost, he can't really do much there. And the second heals. And Adam comes back just a little too late as 3 members of center drop.
Center's got to be careful about when and where they take fights here in such a small hallway. Quite a little doorway, but if they get out quick with the speed boost, I think they can make the most of it.
We're going to see an amp on speed here. Adam playing very conservatively, definitely healing, and opting to heal more than speed in.
And a pick is made by U of L that takes out Vector.
Ooh, their Zarya is supercharged on her damage.
U of L takes another fight.
Like Adam ran to point and is trying his hardest to escape. Just barely gets out too. Alright, both sides have ult brewing here. U of L Red having window, grab, and almost both DPS ults, while center is sitting on a nice coalescence. Unfortunately, it's not enough to stop the grab coming out by Vini, so...
Yeah, the coalescence was used by center there, but, obviously it wasn't enough this time, and U of L with another decisive fight win as Galvanijo starts to inch closer to his grab, but still a ways to go. But Who's James and Adama, they're both nearing full charge on their ultimates.
We do see a swap off the Moira here, back to Baptiste. Back to Baptiste here. Ooh, shot coming out with a big Death Blossom. Both DPS ults popped by U of L Red, and ooh, that was really good.
Sean made his best effort to make that look like a one-man ordeal, and he just took out nearly all of Center's roster with that Death Blossom.
Looks like Center's running straight to point here. And U of L Red is ready for them to pop back down. Adam Who's James popping his own overclock. See if it's as big as Sean just a second ago.
Who's James doing a lot of damage and ends up getting 2 picks there.
Very big 2 picks. Killing the Baptiste early is really good, and shifting the momentum in your favor.
Yeah, if Center can continue to really focus their weaponry on the support players of U of L, I think they'll have a much better chance at holding this point down.
Yep, I agree.
One thing the Colonels do have to watch out for, though, in the next 2 or 3 minutes is not letting U of L have any chance to recap that point, or else they'll automatically win the round.
That's true. Well, Vector comes out with a pretty large Death Blossom of his own.
Vector taking out 3, looking to chase down the Zarya to finish off the team kill, and it looked like his teammates were going to do it for him.
That was a pretty good stagger as well, allowing Center to get more time on the point.
Great work by Center, and now they've got over half of their ultimates at the ready. We're probably going to see a grab and beat drop in response by both teams here.
Yeah, that would be just an exchange of grab and beats would be very interesting to see here.
I would think that Center has the advantage, though, because they've got Chonky Ghost's Amplification Matrix also at the ready.
That is true. Good work on Galvanijo for realizing that they were swapping and using the grab to kind of prevent them from moving.
Yeah, great defensive beat by U of L's
Lucio. Will we get a beat coming out by Adama? Who's James taking a lot of damage here. But Adam, there out comes a beat by Adam.
Great peel by Who's James to get the Reaper off of Sinner's backline. Now he seemingly had free reign on the high ground, but he opts to take the low ground and takes the pick on the Baptiste. And takes the pick on the Zarya as well. Who's James showing you about who's boss. And he's got an overclock ready for the last fight.
Telling them why he's our Sojourn player, really. Just clicks heads, his favorite game. Interesting we're saying Who's James not get healed. I wonder if it's because the supports are gone or... Okay. Yeah,
the overclock comes out, he gets one. Gives an effort in getting two, gets another hit on the BAP, and Who's James? Who's James is just having the time of his life out here. Last week we were saying Who's James? Who is James? Who's James is proving that he is him once again.
He is
and Thinner takes map 1.
Oh man. First map, Who's James was just warming himself up. You know, he was letting the other teammates get a bit of the spotlight, but he took the second match into his own hands.
Absolutely.
And this is just a taste of what Who's James will dish out in this game.
He's just so smooth about that Sojourn ultimate. I don't really understand how someone can be so precise, but he just makes it look so easy.
He makes it look so easy. Whew. And that's round 1 for the Colonels.
So we talked about last week, you know, Sinner really became much better at being proactive with their ultimates, and you know, I thought they did a good job. They continue to do a good job of that in that first map, but I think we just saw some great play all around. You know, wasn't too much that stuck out to me as being one thing that maybe they hyper focused on, you know, when crafting some sort of game plan going into this match. But you know, I just hope the Colonels do more of the same going into the next few maps.
Yeah, I agree. I think all around they played really well together. The only thing I would say maybe play a bit more, or to look to a bit more, is I think Adama could be speeding in a lot more rather than focusing on heals. I can understand why he was a bit conservative with the speed and more with the heals. But now that they know a bit more about what UFL is running, I think running into them a bit more could be beneficial to them.
Yeah, I think Vector's come out really strong on his Reaper so far, and taking advantage of getting him in and allowing him to get quick pot shots onto UFL's front line as well as their back line can maybe help Sinner win fights more quickly.
Yeah, I agree. I think in this match it is honestly whoever gets the first pick. We've seen Sinner get absolutely rolled once they lose their first pick, but we've also seen Sinner completely just rolled UFL red once they get the first pick as well.
Yeah, once Sinner took back the objective in round 2 of Busan, they did a great job of doing just that, getting the first pick, using their ultimates before UFL could do much with theirs, and obviously it turned out the way they wanted with that win.
Yeah, it does look like. Next map we are on King's Row. This is going to be a very different map than Busan was. I'm interested to see what Sinner decides to run here. And UFL Red, actually. Speaking of, UFL Red making a swap. I think they're swapping one of their supports.
I'm not sure, but there definitely is a new face to the roster for them going into map 2.
Actually 2, in fact, new faces for UFL Red here.
I'd like to think I'd expect to see more of the same in terms of team compositions here, and it looks like that's about what we're seeing. Yeah.
On the side of Sinner, yes, but looks like UFL Red is running a very fast comp here, but with a Zarya instead of Winston or something. So this will be interesting to see.
Yeah, I'm very interested to see how this Kiriko pick shapes up, because I haven't seen her in this collegiate league yet, and I wonder how quickly people have adjusted to the way she plays, and
Yeah, and also it's very interesting to see that they're playing Kiriko Lucio on defense here. So I wonder if that'll have any impact on how effective they are.
Sinner rolling out on a pretty traditional rush comp though as we head into the beginning of map 2.
Galvanijo coming out very fast on the point. He's not playing around this round. Taking the building on the left side here. Looks like he's waiting for a shield to build up to allow his teammates to run straight onto them. Ooh, good group by Dirt to keep keep Galvanijo away from him around the support.
Center made an effort to take down the back line there, but it looks like U of L was armed and ready as they take down 2 of Center's players in comparison to Center only taking down 1 of the Cardinals.
Alright. It looks like Galvanijo is making a quick swap off of Zarya, or back off of Reinhardt back to Zarya. I think that'll be the, that seems to be the, moral of the story here is just play Zarya. Anytime they've tried something else, it hasn't worked out too well.
It does seem that way thus far.
But who knows, maybe we'll get surprised. Maybe a Wrecking Ball will come out of left field and kill us his path.
Chonky Ghost and Galvanijo doing some strong work as a little tag team here, and Chonky Ghost coming up on his amplification matrix to possibly use on the stragglers of U of L.
That's true.
But Vector did get taken down, but Galvanijo
with a quick 2.
doing what he does and just eliminating pretty much all of U of L right now.
I think we talk about James a lot, but I think Galvanijo's pressure on tank is something that you don't see. It's not as apparent as 4 headshots with an overclock, but I think it's just as valuable and just as crucial to the success of Center so far.
Yeah, and as we talked about last week, Galvanijo's prowess in the front line is, wouldn't be what it is without the support play that he has backing him up. And Center's really proving themselves so far in this match to be an all-around group.
Yeah, Center's working really well as just a well-oiled machine. Like they're playing off of each other really well. I can only imagine what the comms are like for Center here.
Vector's creeping up on his Death Blossom, probably going to make an attempt at playing.
But
Galvanijo brings out the grab.
Breaking out the grab, but the James killing the Lucio, and Vector cleaning up the Kiriko and Reaper for U of L.
Dota Pro takes out Vector, but it's not enough as Center wins another engagement and creeps towards that second checkpoint. But Center does have 4 out of 5 ultimates going into this next fight, but that's matched directly by U of L.
I do think it's interesting that Center's been basically designating their Baptiste as sitting on the card here. I feel like they could have capped it by now had 3 people been on card for a while. But here comes the window from getting a quick hit on the enemy soldier, and the ults are just going out.
Ult after ult coming out from both teams, but Vector's in the backline with Death Blossom. I don't know if it's going to be enough.
Vector got a pick on the Lucio, and who's taking off the Zarya here. This might be enough to allow Center to get the win.
Hushin, Galvanijo, and Adama as a team of 3 help to take out the rest of U of L, and Center successfully captures that second payload checkpoint.
Both of U of L's, or both of Center's respawning players are really far back, so U of L might use this time to just regroup and hop on them.
Yeah, there's certainly, it's not, the map is not lost for U of L by any means. There's a lot of cases, as we see now.
Kiriko with a quick headshot on who's James.
Center making an effort to back out now.
Yeah, it was a very interesting grab coming out from Dota Pro.
It really drained a lot of Center's resources though.
It did. They had to use all of Baptiste's abilities. Amp came out by Lucio, and both bubbles were used. So it wasn't a terrible grab.
Center still with over 3.5 minutes left in the timing, so no panic from them yet.
Reaper coming behind Center College, and I don't think they realize that he's back there. And he gets a quick pick on who's James and Chonky Ghost. That's
great work by U of L.
Sean really coming out of left field.
Wow, a quick 3K for him as he walks up to Center's spawn door. It's a brutal move.
Yeah, I really have to high-five the door and left.
And Center coming out now with a possible window from their Baptiste and comboed with a Graviton Surge by Galvanijo, but we'll see what happens here.
It's true. B is also almost built for Center College. Here comes the window by Center.
Can he get 1? Can he get 2? There's
not able to get 2 there. But Sean coming out with a Death Blossom, killing Chonky Ghost, forcing up a beat by Adam. Is it enough to win the fight though? Dota Pro killing Adam and Vector, and I think that's the fight for U of L.
Yeah, Dota Pro and Sean really putting in a lot of work for U of L here, and these off angles that I'm seeing being taken by U of L's DPS are really, they're really hurting center pretty hard right now.
Yeah, U of L's soldier and popped their overclock in that fight as well. I didn't realize or recognize it at the time. But yeah, center is coming in with one ult. Here comes the grab by U of L. You have to take out the Zarya for center here, forcing everybody back to the spawn door.
One thing U of L is doing a great job of doing right now on this third point is just cycling out ults that they're using against center. They're not dumping everything all in at one fight. They're taking their time, using one or two to get one or two guaranteed picks on the center's roster. That can really make or break a round for you. And they've done a great job.
Galvanijo going down to Jodapro here. That's really unfortunate for center, as they have to now wait for their Zarya to come back again.
Yeah, as you mentioned following the first map, the team that's getting the first pick in all these fights is consistently winning over and over. Sometimes you see that the first pick doesn't really matter and teams can bring it back 4-on-5, but so far in this match, this has not been the case.
Yeah, I've also noticed that it looks like center is really trying to focus put their damage onto the supports of U of L, while U of L's focusing all of their damage onto our Galvanijo. So.
Oh, two great picks by Who's James there, using the overclock headshot to heavily amplify his damage. And now center is taking all the space they really want, right?
All they could really need, too. Vector has built his Blossom with that much space, so... And out with the beat by U of L Red, they really have no reason not to Blossom here.
Vector taking the high ground, perhaps going to use it.
Ooh, Vector coming back.
Two great picks by U of L to salvage the fight and push center out once again.
However, center has 2 ults here, and Adam's not far from his own, while U of L Red has 2 ults of their own. However, Moira can no longer escape from Zarya's grab anymore, so this will be interesting to see if... Ooh, good group by Gert to stop Vector from hopping onto their team. It's one of those plays that, doesn't have that big of an impact because you can't really see it, but...
Flies under the radar sometimes, and
doesn't look like it was enough, yeah. Center's still taking it here. And looks like Adam is able to build a beat here. That will definitely be crucial in this last fight.
Galvanijo popped the grab on the 3 members of U of L and takes out 3 all at once. And now it's just a wrecking ball remaining on the point. U of L did get this round all the way into overtime, but center still is going to make that full cap going into round 2. A strong attack from the Colonels, although it was heavily delayed on that last objective. U of L did a great job, as we were saying, of getting those first picks, using 1 or 2 ultimates, cycling them through the round. And, but sometimes the power of Who's James, Galvanijo, and Adama, Chonky the whole roster just ends up being a little too much. And it's been a really close match so far, so I'm excited to see what U of L can do.
Yeah, the hold by U of L was really impressive there. They were doing a great job at cycling in and out what they needed to do. I think the issue came with, center swapping off the Baptiste to Moira, put a lot more pressure on the front line, and I think that is what, really gave center the advantage they needed there.
Hey, that was a great swap from Chonky there. Really read it well. I think it just caused a little bit more chaos that perhaps they needed out on the battlefield. With those damage doors flying around, that coalescence, penetrating through all members of the team at once when it was used. But it's been a really hard-fought match so far. Lots of highlights on both sides.
Yeah, we do see a swap off the Reaper for Vector here, opting to play a more fast Genji approach.
I'm really excited to see what he can do. I'm not sure how Genji will fare against the comp. I feel like has a lot of immediate prevention. With the Kiriko Bell and the sort of invulnerability it gives while he's trying to get those picks. I'm not sure. I think Vector can make it work though.
Yeah, I agree. I'm interested to see how it fares against their Zarya and Kiriko. Seeing if he's able to dive as well as he wants to.
Now it's heavy skirmish on the front line. U of L is trying to inch forward.
U of L is really just rushing straight on the point. With the comp they have no reason not to. Kiriko, Lucio speeding them into them. I don't think center was ready for that.
That's a great grenade by U of L's Sojourn, but Center's going to try and push back against it. No picks have been made on either side yet. Oh, and there goes Adam.
There goes Adam, and that might be what U of L needs to finally cap this point for themselves. Who's James coming out with the kill on Sean? Both DPS are still alive here. But Who's James taken down by Joe Pro, and I think the rest are going to follow here.
You know, Center really did their best to try and bring it back and retake the space, but once they lost it, you know, so early in the fight, that makes it really hard to get it back when you're fighting against, you know, such a heavy loaded in terms of damage front line that U of L has.
The momentum was very quickly swapped when U of L just sped straight onto Center. I don't think Center was, like I said, I don't think Center was ready for it at all. They just kind of stood there and kind of let it happen.
We are seeing U of L coming up on quite a few of their ults, but Center's also doing some of the same. I think it's really going to come down to a lot of who gets grabbed first, and you know, will Adam be able to respond? A great pick by U of L.
Good pick by U of L. I don't think that's probably going to do what it takes to clean up Center College here. As being down here, that was a very nice 4K by U of L Soldier. But yeah, like I was saying, as soon as Chalky Ghost dies, it seems like Center is just collapsing in on it. So he really seems to be just the backbone of the team right now, keeping them in place with the heals and, you know, the immortality field, the regen.
Center's going to be able to engage here with the potential use of all 5 ultimates. You know, they've really got to manage
the Genji
well,
Blade by Vector, but it gets countered by a quick Lucio beat by her. We see Lucio beat coming up from Adam, and we do.
And Center, it looks like they've used 4 ultimates here. The grab comes out from U of L, as does the Death Blossom.
And it looks like that is enough to clean up the fight for U of L.
And
really blitzing these first 2 points here, having 5 minutes on the clock.
Very similar run to Center's first round, as of this point.
Yeah, it'll be very interesting to see how Center, you know, climbs themselves back from such a deficit. But U of L was able to at least get into overtime, so it'll be fun to see if Center can as well.
Yeah, 7 total ultimates used in the last.
Ooh, quick kill on the Kiriko by Chalky Ghost here. Those damage orbs, like you saying, cause so much chaos. Reaper diff.
Vector asserting his dominance over Sean in that engagement. So,
right. Looks like they were able to win this first fight, stop the momentum that U of L had. But U of L is coming up on Kiriko ult and is holding on to overclock. Ooh, so is Who's James also has his own overclock, so maybe we'll just see a fight between whose overclock is better. Who's able to get the most picks. Alright, here comes the overclock from Who's James. But he can't find anyone.
He's
oh,
you know what? I think he's winning the mental battle right now. U of L just knew they've got to hide when Who's James popped that ultimate.
He did stop them from moving forward for a solid 6 seconds, but out comes the ult by U of L Soldier. See if it's enough to, you know, apply as much pressure. Ooh, Center is down a big 2 players here, and they have to give up the space. They can't afford to, you know, keep contesting down to them. Galvanijo's tracking is so cool to watch. Oh, Girth killing himself. That's a very interesting play.
Chalky Ghost
coming out with the coalescence to clean up.
You know what? I like this coalescence. Just ensuring that Center, you know, doesn't deplete too much else of their other resources to win the fight, and just clearing U of L out of the space. You know, no progress is to be made once the payload is stopped that first time, and after Center gets their first couple picks.
Yeah, I'm with you there. Center is holding onto a Graviton Surge here, while U of L is about 3 ults here. Almost have Lucio, Kiriko, and Grav themselves. And here comes the Kiriko ult. U of L, or Center backing up, trying to give them as much space as possible, but might not be enough, as both DPS go down for Center here. And Girth comes out with his own beat, and the supports just go crazy, killing almost everybody on Center side.
Yeah, U of L did a great job protecting their team members that were in the most danger there, and they're gonna just take this map much quicker than Center was able to. not quite what I expected once I saw Center's attack, but, you know, I'm sure the Cardinals are happy with it.
Yeah. Kings Row is definitely a weird map where it's like the momentum is really the biggest thing like on this map. Center did their best to hold them for a little while, but it simply wasn't good enough. It didn't last long enough on the side of Center. Once the Kiriko ult came in, the beat by their Lucio and the grab by their Zarya, Center didn't have enough resources to compete with that. So the fight, I think, had to go to U of L there.
Yeah, I was really hoping once Center got that first stop of U of L's momentum on that last point that they would be able to hold it for a little longer, but, you know, U of L really wasn't phased too much and brought it back quite quickly.
Alright, looks like U of L's playing a very interesting comp here. They're looking for a very early pick to win the game, is what it looks like. They're playing the Widowmaker to see if they can get that quick pick, and then once they do, it should be game over. Especially if the pick is on one of the supports.
Mm-hmm. For sure. And Center sticking with their pretty brawl-heavy composition. You know, 2.5 minutes, nothing, you know, it's not too short, not too long. I think both sides have a pretty even chance at trying to get this done. But Center really, as we saw in the last round, has to focus on not giving up that space on this first corner here.
2.5 minutes is just enough time for everybody to build the ults they need, maybe even twice, and take a fight there. Vector coming out, trying to hop onto the Zarya's backline, but does not seem to be good enough. As Sean comes in with a kill on both of the supports for Center College, and the lack of a true hit scan really comes back to bite Center here.
Especially with the open air of this first objective, U of L, I think, made a great game time decision to try that Pharah Mercy composition out.
And that fight goes great to the fight, or the match goes to U of L here. Very good round by both teams, honestly. Both teams did really great on attack, but defense was definitely both of their weakest areas.
Yeah, you know, it makes me happy to see that U of L was unfazed by the 2-0 loss on the first map of Busan, and you know they looked ready to go in the second map. You know, came back swinging, took a map of their own, and now we're headed to a map 3 where I couldn't tell you who's going to win this match.
Yep. I think map 3 is Route 66, so full payload. It'll be very interesting to see how both teams work on these as well, because this is another map where momentum can really shift the game.
Yeah, and you know, on either side, whether it's an offensive team or a defensive team, if we see the cycling of ultimates and you know the ability for teams to maybe take some off angles, take some flank routes, and get some early picks onto one or two members of the opposite team, that can be what gives the momentum, and you know that may not let up until the round ends.
Yeah, it does look like we're taking a short break here for the Colonels to get their composure back and get back in this game. All right, here comes round 3 for Center College versus U of L. It looks like U of L is choosing to... Can't decide if U of L is choosing to attack or defend first here.
I believe they're defending. But either way, I think we're in store for another close map of Overwatch 2.
Another swap on the side of U of L, dropping their Dota Pro for Venin again. So
I thought we saw a very strong performance from Dota Pro on Kings Row.
I agree.
I think he can sit back on the bench, being proud of what he accomplished, and I think we can be excited for what Venin OW2 is about to bring to U of L's roster as well.
And looks like Girth has swapped off as well, leaving Magnum for leaving Magnum for U of L here. We see a pretty fast dive comp coming out from center here with a Monkey, Reaper, and Ana swapping up what we usually see with the Zarya, that piece, / Moira, and Reaper.
I think we can pretty comfortably expect center to try and take control of high ground, whether it be on the gas station or that canyon really early.
Ooh, getting a really early pick on Lucio here. Not sure how that happened, but that was crazy coming out from U of L. But center comes back with a very quick pick on Zarya for U of L.
And 2 go down on the side of U of L. Galvanijo not letting up the pressure.
Yeah, and it looks like Center really, Center really pushed the pressure onto U of L here.
They did exactly what that composition was made to do in that first fight. I think
They took
maybe
the
shocking
one
the
loss
system of the University of Louisville so far.
Yeah, they took that one loss at the beginning and did not let that stop them from just diving into them and applying intense amounts of pressure. Center is playing a bit more closer to the cart than before.
Yeah, I think Route 66 first is a good situation for that. And, you know, Center putting on pressure again, really making an effort to split up the efforts of the University of Louisville.
Yep. Center did force out the lamp on the side of University of Louisville here.
Nice lead from Chonky Goats there. And he's got a really safe position. Nicely tucked onto the high ground at the back towards the beginning of it.
Yeah, nobody can really mess with him up here, so yeah, I agree. He's very, very nice. And Chonky Goats and the rest of Center was able to clean up the fight.
That was an incredibly efficient first point by Center.
That was. We are seeing a swap off the Reaper onto Ash. It's a very interesting swap considering we're running a monkey. But
yeah, I'm not sure how that Ash pick will fare considering Center's comp really thrives on that close distance fighting. And they've done a really good job of getting there, and you know the Ash can't do as much about that.
Yeah. And it looks like Galvanijo is just waiting for that moment to hop on somebody.
Biding his time. He's got the Primal Rage at the ready now, and you know, sooner or later he's going to put the attack down. Vector coming up on his Dragon Blade. Chonky Goats has an energy ready.
Here comes Galvanijo really tried to cut off the heals on Zarya there, but it didn't look like Center was ready for the dive on her.
Vector just biding his time, just as Galvanijo was.
Out comes a grab from U of L here, but it is not enough. Galvanijo able to pick 2 off wild grab.
And Vector, you know, exhibiting some great patience. The nano did come out from Chonky Goats, but you know the job got done. Vector can do just as much, in my experience, watching him with Dragon Blade used without the nano boost.
Yeah.
And Center, you know, off to a great start.
I think Center did a great job not expending too many ults there. Galvanijo could have Primal Rage to keep himself alive more, but he had such faith in his supports that he didn't feel like he needed to. It's crazy to think about. Yeah, we're also seeing a swap off of the Zarya here for U of L.
Vector getting a little lost in the sauce on this Dragon Blade so far. I don't know if he's going to be able to chase down anyone.
Vector really trying to hunt down this enemy soldier here.
And he eventually falls.
Unfortunate. But yeah, that is 2 ults expended on the side of U of L, while 2 ults are also expended on the side of Center here, or 3 ults even. Who's James popped his own ult, not popping off.
Yeah, and part of me wonders if Vector didn't know that nano boost had come out on the side of Chonky Goats because he dashed into the air, as Genjis do before they receive it, and you know he kind of just fell to the ground, maybe a little confused. But Center still, you know, no need to panic thus far, and their momentum was only slightly good.
Yeah, I think the fight can still turn around at any. Ooh, actually, that's a really good pick. Center can't push this. Lucio doesn't have amp. They have no speed. Or they shouldn't be speeding because they haven't really had no heals. James with a nasty
James maybe with a little bit of an ego shot just to make sure, you know, Sean, he won't let Sean forget that he still exists.
Yeah.
You know, but Center, you know, they still have a little over 2 minutes. Some ultimates ready on the side of both teams.
I'm interested to see if Center will play maybe use an aggressive beat here to initiate a fight rather than trying to hold on for something scary.
That wouldn't be a bad idea.
But it does not look like Adam is willing to commit to that just yet. But we might see something crazy happen here in a second.
So Galvanijo goes in, forces the bell out, gets the nano boost from Chonky Goats.
Here's the nano boost from Chonky Goats.
Maybe a bit of a mistiming as, you know, he was making an effort to get out of the fight as the nano boost kind of, you know, edged him inward.
Oh, but the soldier for U of L is getting a nice 2K there. And I think that might be all they need to clean up the fight and take this.
But with Galvanijo and Who's James still alive, you never really know what's going to happen.
The Winston 1v1, oh, not really 1v1, the Kiriko there.
1v2, but he's maintaining space on the cart.
We've seen Galvanijo pull out some crazier stuff than this, so.
The supports return on the side of Center, and the beat drop is still ready from Adama. Vector coming up on his Dragon Blade, and Who's James is going to be returning with an overclock.
Adam really sitting on this beat pretty hard. And it looks like he's content with holding it for now. I don't think they believe they're in any danger from losing it.
The blade comes out from Vector. He gets one. Can he get two? He does.
Let's get two.
Really followed up with the final kill on the Tracer. He knows where she is, trying to lock her down, and he
Ooh,
gets
that
the
was a really
headshot.
nice headshot.
Center's going to cap map, or point two, excuse me, with 2.5 minutes left on the clock.
Yeah, they did a really good job about spinning everything they had there, too. James still has his overclock, and we see you swap off the Genji and off the Winston onto D.Va and Reaper here.
Yeah, pretty formulaic swap in team composition here for Center, as they opt now for a more brawly, but still, you know, a high ground focused composition.
It's a very anti-Winston comp.
Absolutely.
Definitely
Definitely trying to burst
going
them
for.
down. But U of L, you know, a credit to them, has not been rolling over on this map so far. It's still been pretty close, and they're doing their best. The beat comes out from Adamo, in good defense against U of L's Winston. You know, we'll see what they're able to do. Who's James goes down, and Vector's wreaking havoc in the back line, but
Ooh.
those Kiriko headshots,
Yeah,
man.
Kiriko is so dangerous. This, U of L's Kiriko has been really good at hitting her headshots, too. Early off in the game, she picked off Adam pretty easily. She's been picking off the people who were trying to flank pretty easily as well. Yeah, hitting consistent headshots here. That beat coming off from Adam was a bit weird, as it didn't really do much.
I mean, at the time, U of L's Winston was really deep in the back line. I think it was better safe than sorry that it just ended up not being safe enough. You know, sometimes that's just the way the tempo of the fight goes, the way the outcomes are.
However, out comes some ults by U of L here. They caught the Soldier ult, and we're just trading right now is what it looks like. Center's sitting on theirs. They're content with not using any in this fight.
Galvanijo doing his best to protect Center's backline. Chasing after the Genji, but Kiriko's back.
Kiriko's back with the bell, too. Galvanijo has built a bomb here, so depending on how smart the Winston bubble is or the positioning on the side of U of L, this could really be game changing.
Here comes the Genji. But a bomb in response.
Ooh, really shutting down the blade actually, forcing him to hide behind the cart. The question though is it going to be enough?
Yeah, it looks like quite the skirmish right now, but U of L comes out with 2 picks, but whose name's going to try and bring it back from an overclock? The Ana goes down.
Ooh, the time is coming up to an end here, and I don't think that Center is going to be able to push this cart any further than it is right now.
Yeah, Center making a last-ditch effort to try and reclaim the fight, but Adama comes in with the beat drop. You never know how much time a Lucio can spend on payload, so we'll see how it goes. But he falls.
Yep.
A nice shot from Renzubu, and U of L stops Center in their tracks.
Center did a pretty good job on the first point, but you could see the momentum just slowly dissipating as they got further and further into the game. I think the swap to the Monkey actually did wonders for U of L.
Initiating match.
I thought, it's just another map where both teams seem so evenly matched. There's just no way to predict who's going to win. But I think what we saw on Center's attack was U of L doing a much better job at stopping momentum earlier and sort of dragging on the round as long as possible.
Yeah. All right. Looks like Center is going back to the Ana pick here, back to the original, dive comp from the round 1.
And U of L is going to mirror that composition directly. I'm interested to see how that shakes out. We've seen some strong play from both DPS on U of L's side, as well as their tanks and supports. And now we've got a true duel coming out on
it's all down to skill now. It's not really like counter picking since it's the same comps. So this is just a entire skill battle now.
I think Center's got to pick and choose their timing quite carefully with their counter dot. Although they might be mapping out where they're going to exactly rotate to when the engagement comes from U of L. Because U of L is going to have to be the aggressor here.
Yeah, but it looks like U of L wants to be the aggressors here with the comp that they're running, and
But Galvanijo opts to take the first leap in, and he's just chunking some damage off of U of L's front and back line.
Galvanijo doing big damage onto the Soldier and Lucio here. And Who's James picking off the Genji. So
That was a big anti-nade from U of L's Ana, but who's James?
James is not letting them move. Anytime they're out of position even slightly, Who's James is looking for him.
Yeah, he's been a little quiet this map so far. I think U of L might be due for another Who's James takeover.
I think he's he's got to spread out how much he shows us. He can't let everything out in the first map.
Yeah.
All right, we see Galvanijo taking this interesting position on the corner there. Ooh, Chunky Ghost having a really hard time with his line of sight here. It's very interesting seeing Adams up here as well instead of down with the Winston and Genji. It's very interesting.
Who's James, though, is doing a great job of keeping some pretty safe but effective positioning, getting his damage in when he can, and, not risking his life too much.
Yeah, he's not afraid to run away. Ooh, good kill on the Chunky Ghost by Vinin. And it looks like even though we killed their Ana in return, it isn't enough to save this round for Sinatala.
The nano boosted Winston just had quite the effect against Stone's backline. Galvanijo is going to prop the Primal Rage.
He's willing to pop the Primal Rage to get out. Galvanijo hopping back in pretty quick.
Yeah, he's going to stall cart and perhaps use that cooldown. Oh, great timing there to read when his supports be ready on the high ground.
Galvanijo does some crazy things with his Primal Rage.
Some great communication, though, by Center to realize they didn't have to quite give up on that point altogether.
And here comes Vector onto the Soldier here. He really hasn't been letting her out of his sight. He's been on her case a lot.
And he gets the kill, and he's got his blade. Chonky Ghost, I believe, used his nano there on Galvanijo, and it works out well. Vector's going to have to go in with another dry Dragon Blade in this fight, but he did his work that needed to be done there, and Center follows up quite nicely.
Center's sitting on 3 ults here now, while U of L is sitting on 2, but they're really close to building that third one with a Soldier. So
if I'm the University of Louisville right now, I'm starting to get a little worried. Center's got 3 ultimates, just a minute left on the clock, and all that U of L really has to work with is a Dragon Blade and a Beach Up right now. Although their Sojourn could build that overclock pretty quickly. Yeah,
we have seen Lulu do some crazy stuff in the
Oh, I think a miscommunication came out from Center again. Vector was expecting a nano boost.
Yeah,
he dashed up with just 80 HP.
I think the communication around Nano Blade has been, pretty rough for Center here. Vector's been expecting, at least twice now, and just had to go in dry. So
I think, U of L, though, to their credit, did a great job of following up on that mistake by the Colonels.
Yeah, and it'll be very hard to bring this back here, but Who's James is coming in with his own ult. So we could see Who's James, take some heads now.
So Vector got stuck in a reload. The Genji is low. Who's James takes one. Gets 2. Oh, it's a Who's James takeover. He got 3.
Is that enough?
He might be. He gets 4. Who's James takes them 4 members of the University of Louisville.
No one else died. That is so unfortunate.
He was the only member left.
Oh no!
And he just could not compete with the 600 health pool of Louisville's Winston.
Can't go unrecognized.
Yeah, it cannot be underappreciated. Hughes James did all he possibly could, and it just sometimes the best things just don't end in victory. But Center did a great job there, holding that point for essentially the full 4 minutes, and they can't be upset with the defense so far.
I'm beginning to think maybe I think that the dry Dragon Blades haven't been as beneficial as you would think they are. That might be miscommunication on the side of Center, but maybe Chonky Ghost should be saving his nano boost for Dragon Blade. Out comes a nano blade on the side of University of Louisville.
Some nice boost from Adama trying to stay alive. He's stuck in a duel. Just needs a melee left on the Genji, but he can't get it.
Adama almost had the kill on the Genji there. That would have been really sick to see.
And now things are starting to get dangerous for the Colonels as U of L is creeping up on the checkpoint.
Momentum swap really fast here. Oh, nobody saw that Vector needed that healing. And just kind of had to sit there.
U of L has taken the momentum and stride, and they are just knocking out center one by one on their way to getting the second point. I'm not sure if they can bring this back, at least on this objective.
Yeah, I feel like center really needs to regroup here. They've been going in, like, 4 of them and just going in, or like, you know, they're trickling in, you know, time after time, and it's just not working as well.
They are coming up on a couple ults, the Colonels, but so are, you know, U of L is going to have this overclock and their beat drop ready. And
quick swapped off the Ana for a Moira here, which might be a bit better for surviving against dives, you know, on their side of University of Louisville.
Galvanijo, heavy burst onto the Winston.
What a kill on the Winston. The amount of damage he did there must have been crazy. A quick kill on the Genji too. Center stopping the momentum that University of Louisville has built for a while.
Yeah, with that glowing yellow box not too far off in the distance, less than 20 meters, Center really had to assert themselves quickly, and they did a great job.
The pressure is on them, and they're definitely feeling it.
Chonky Ghost made a swap onto the Moira here, perhaps in response to the heavy pressure.
Ooh, James with the dink on the Lucio. Alright, James trying to deal with the flanking Genji. Chonky Ghost handling himself out there, doing so much damage.
Center cleaning up nicely in that engagement, and now we're just down to a minute left. Both sides with lots of ultimates to be used here.
Yeah, both sides almost have 4 points total. The only difference is just who has them. Who's James popping his overclock here, but he doesn't have line of sight of anybody.
Yeah, perhaps a little early there, but you know, still he prevents U of L from moving in.
You could see that the Zarya is still really hurt here. There's a good kill on the Moira, or good kill on the Ana.
And Vector with a nice blade there.
Hitter just popped everything they had though.
They will have a Coalescence here in this last fight, and a grab is almost at the ready for the University of Louisville. So Chonky Ghost has to really time his ultimate well.
Yeah, so is a overclock as well.
So I think the key for center in this last fight is playing their corners and timing that one ultimate really well.
I think Chonky Ghost has a lot of pressure riding on him here.
It all comes down to this, you know. Will Galvanijo maybe even be able to use the defense matrix on the grab? He might be looking for it. Oh, but it comes out.
It comes out.
No Coalescence yet from Chonky Ghost.
Chonky Ghost held on to it for a little too long.
Oh
I
my.
think that's the round for, yeah, that is the round for U of L.
It was a close one, but it was a rough outcome for the Colonels, and U of L is going to take map 3 to lead the series 2-1. You know, when I'm reflecting on that last fight as the Colonels, I really, you know, I hate to see how tight they were. You know, Moira's spray, it doesn't go too long for her heals, but it goes far enough where, you know, you can be really safe knowing that you have that Coalescence at the ready and take your time, you know, not be too overzealous about getting too close. And, you know, we saw a lot of strong effort from everyone on both sides, but this play by Hoosh James was just out of this world. I mean, he really took that map over for a little while.
Yeah. But yeah, I agree. I think overall in that match, I've seen a bit of an issue with Center's ult usage. Like at the beginning of the second point for Center on attack, they held on to their beat for a very long time. There seemed to be a lot of miscommunication around who was getting the nano boost. The Coalescence coming out from Chonky Ghost. There's a bunch of like ways we could have managed our ultimates a little better. And I think that is what really came back to bite Center here.
So it is, I mean, the game really is all about the little things in the end. You know, that's with any sport, any game. You know, if Center and the Colonels can just, you know, clean it up a little bit, fine tune some things, head into the next map, I wouldn't be surprised if they came out with a 3-2 win. But you know, once again, credit to U of L. They played a really strong last 2 maps, and they certainly deserved their win.
Yeah, I agree entirely. It's been really back and forth here. Both matches were in overtime. They, you know, were really just dishing damage back and forth, and honestly could have gone either way. Like, say Chonky Ghost, you know, played a bit further back and was out of the grab. His Coalescence might have been able to save the team, win the fight. Then the match would have been different. But like, it's really the small things, like you said, that make or break it.
And Center, you know, if they even going back to that first point, they almost full held U of L there, but maybe some miscommunication in the timing of the re-engage. And although Hoosh James was able to take out 4 members of U of L, you know, he wasn't able to take out that last player, that Winston, who was left on the card.
Yeah.
it really is just the fine tunings, the the little bits and pieces you may not notice just as an observer, but when you're on the team, you really think back to yourself after the game, and you're like, wow, those moments, they really stick with you. But it is the regular season. There's still a few maps to play potentially, and I think we're in for kind of an instant classic.
Yep.
Battle of the teams in the Commonwealth.
All right, Esperanza. Let's see. I get the feeling Sinner's gonna run a your normal rush comp. Zarya, Lucio, Baptiste, or Moira, and then Blue James on his Soldier. And
yeah, one thing I've really liked seeing about teams in the Overwatch League play Esperanza is their utilization of the high ground and the flank angles on this map. Especially when the robot is stuck dead in the middle. Using the tower to their advantage. Perhaps you see a Reaper on some side coming around and getting in the back line. So, and that certainly seemed to be Sinner's strong suit in Busan. Getting Vector around the side, allowing Hugh James to sort of do the brunt of the work on the front line, and going from there. And that looks exactly like what we're going to see.
Yeah, it does look like U of L is wanting to run a dive comp, while Sinner wants to run more of a rush comp. The clash between these two will be very interesting to see. I once again think it's going to be a very skill-heavy decision on who comes out on top here. Because while Sinner does have more heals, the damage coming from U of L will be pretty drastic.
And so Sinner creeping up on the high ground. Perhaps the best angle for their Sojourn to work early on, but Galvanijo is going to make his way towards the robot.
Vector doing real damage onto the Winston, and it forces everyone off of the high ground. Let's see what is working. Quick pick on the Winston. That might be what Sinner needs to get an early momentum shift. Ooh. Here we go on the side of U of L, really putting in that damage on Vector.
Yeah, Sinner falls here, perhaps just primarily because the burst damage that comes out, like you were saying, from that Kiriko combined with the efforts of their Reaper, that really can shut down a push quite quickly, and it definitely did that.
Alright, looks like team's waiting for Galvanijo to come back before they initiate anything too crazy. Their Kiriko doesn't land her headshots super consistently, and I think that is going to be a big issue Sinner has to overcome here.
And these magnet grenades that are coming out from U of L Sojourn are just so effective at controlling the space.
Ooh, James didn't have enough charge to kill the Soldier with a headshot, but he actually left a big bruise on her. Same with the Winston. Winston's almost dead here.
Vector doing a great job so far at chunking down the Winston really low health, but he just hasn't been able to finish him off so far. But
it looks like a trade on both sides here. And Sinner's taking the advantage. Good coalescence coming out from Sinner College. A very early coalescence as well.
And now I'm excited to see what Vector is able to do with the Death Blossom, combined with potential speed boost and a couple bubbles from Galvanijo. But of course, U of L might be able to respond with the beat drop of their own.
Yeah, I wonder if Sinner is going to be able to beat or Blossom before the beat drop, like even gets built.
Possibly, yeah. And you can't underestimate the power of Kiriko's ultimate, though. I mean, if U of L times that right place, right time, it can do so much. Vector being pretty cautious now, and U of L's making a strong push into.
Looks like Vector's looking for the ult. Here
he gets one, gets two, gets three. Vector with the triple.
And he gets the fourth. Vector really coming in clutch.
Vector cleaning up U of L, gets all 5 kills.
Cleaned house.
Absolutely cleans house. And Sinner's gonna take the lead here.
Sinner's still sitting on 3 ults. Their discipline on their ults there was really nice. That was really crazy to see.
And now that Who's James, so they get the forward spawn here. Sinner does, and they're taking some smart positioning, seeing as the robot stops and they lost 2 players. But if Who's James can have this high ground here with the overclock and get some big
Who's James
value
got
out of it.
dinged.
I mean,
It's really unfortunate. It looks like Who's James is popping it.
gonna take the opportunity to use the ultimate, takes a nice angle, gets the
Ooh,
Reaper.
Gets one.
The grab goes out. Center might be able to clean this up
I
still.
think the grab threw off his aim there. Just a little bit.
Perhaps tugged U of L player a little out of his crosshair. Galvanijo pushing up on the Kiriko,
yeah.
finishes him off.
That looks like it'll be what Sinner needs to clean up this first fight. Or not this first fight, but to clean up this fight.
And you know, they did. Center going to that fight did have some people kind of coming back from spawn.
Yeah.
They weren't all together, but that really, whether that was on purpose combined with their effort to reposition because the robot stops or not, the places that they started the fight in were crucial to them winning that engagement. I
Have
mean,
been super beneficial.
yeah, giving Who's James the opportunity to have high ground and sort of pick and choose when he might want to take a step forward into the back line. That was very smart.
Oh, the movement by the Kiriko there really throwing off Vector's aim. And Center's sitting on both support ults here.
A huge
Huge
pick
pick on Who's James onto the Zarya.
But Renzu dies in the back line.
Getting a pick but dying himself.
And now you've got to worry about Galvanijo. He's full charge.
Yeah, he's basically just another DPS at this point.
Center is starting to, take and I would argue in the push mode more so than any other mode in this game, the momentum is, the most important thing.
Yeah.
And Center definitely has it right now.
The only thing I'm slightly worried about is here comes multiple ults on the side of U of L, but the beat comes out just a little too late, and it results in Vector being killed, and Center has to back out now.
And, I think if you're the Colonel, you can't be too upset with Luke. Oh, what a shot!
James, bro. He's so dirty. Alright, out comes a beat by U of L, so Center just has to keep backing out. Beat and the Kitsune Rush. Sean also has his Death Blossom. Vector has his, and it's just bigger.
I'm not sure how the Colonel's turned that around. Oh my goodness.
Man.
Vector and Galvanijo taking matters.
Really putting matters into their own hand. Really just showing they are them.
And the lead only increases for Center College here. That was just quite the display of patience.
The only issue is that Kentucky Ghost just got back, so that was very risky for them to push into that fight. But who's James with the pick on the Lucio?
So much damage. What I'm seeing, I think what's been instrumental to the success of Center this round is just how much charge Galvanijo is able to maintain on the Zarya right now. I mean, I don't think I've seen him below 60, 65. Yep. He's just gunning U of L down, and without an effort being made to not shoot the bubbles and to really focus Galvanijo down, he's only going to keep it that way.
Yeah. Looks like Who's James is going to get a bit healed up. And then a good pick on the Kiriko. Vector goes down, but I think that's worth it because Who's James pops the overclock.
The headshot on the Lucio on the jump shot, and now he's got the overclock being used. Looking for the Reaper on the left side. Now shit's focused on Zarya. And Center might full push.
Yeah, and it's just a soldier on point. It looks like Center's taking it home.
Center closing in. 3, 2, 1 meter to go.
Ooh, Reaper TP'd onto point. He can stall for quite a while with his Wraith forms inside.
Who's James jumping all over the place, evading U of L's efforts to take him down.
Oh, Vector going down though might be big for U of L.
A Graviton Surge is ready at the hands of Galvanijo, but he's not.
I think Galvanijo's gonna hold on to it. Oh, just I'm already leaving. Might as well take one with me. That was nice.
And Who's James is being stalled out a little bit, but there is time for sure. As Center now possesses over 100 meters of lead.
That is so crazy to see.
And it's just so hard to full cap on these push maps with how close the defensive spawn gets. But
but Center's sitting on 2 ults here. They almost have Death Blossom as well. So I can definitely see Center taking this next fight.
Galvanijo has his Graviton Surge. He's building his energy back up. And Chonky Ghost has a Coalescence to go with it. The Kitsune Rush comes out from U of L right
and out
through the
there
robot.
comes there goes the Graviton Surge, and it's all of them. It was really big.
Center doing a great job there, really focusing all their resources on that Graviton Surge. And, it pays off as another wipe goes through U of L's team, and they're gonna push that robot back towards U of L spawn.
Yep, and Center is sitting on both DPS ults here, but so is U of L. U of L also almost has their beat, so I think ult usage will really determine or really make or break this fight coming in.
Who's James and Vector, as you were saying? You know, what can they do with their ultimates? I feel like in this map especially, we've seen some great work from them.
Good pick coming out from Rin's Ooh, but you know,
Dude, James taking out the front line, gets two with his overclock.
Overclock, okay. And it's just the barrier dance and monkey who James got to deal with, but I think he can handle him. Look how Galvanijo and Vector coming back.
Both.
The cart is still theirs.
And Center maintaining space here. As the robot inches closer and closer, and Vector creeping onto the high ground.
Vector's looking for it.
Is he gonna make the play?
He's going. Oh, now he got
Makes
a little.
himself known and exercising some maybe needed patience with this death boss. You know, Center's biding their time.
If he gets anything over 2, it was definitely worth it. So I can understand him biding his time. But he can't buy too much time.
Making a TP into the back line.
They don't see him.
Oh, perhaps a little too far back.
Early, but it does force out a beat on the side of U of L.
Now Center's engaged in a full-on brawl with the Cardinals. They're up 1. But Galvanijo is being pushed around.
Oh,
even with that being said, he's got his high energy. He's got the damage going out. And
here comes a Kitsune Rush. Is it enough for to turn this fight around? Okay, well we see a coalescence coming out on the side.
Adama has his beat drop at the ready. Only 10 seconds remaining. Center continuing to get a pick. And Adama is just egoing at this point by not using the beat.
Oh my goodness.
Only 1 player remaining for U of L, and Center looks like they're going to take the map. Overtime trickling down. Just a Lucio on the cart now. The grab comes out from Galvanijo.
The cart. They avoid pushing it. They don't want to get closer to him.
Adama
There's the beat drop. And Center takes it. That ties up the series 2-2.
Yeah, I mean, great work from the Chronos. They just possess the momentum for so much of that map, and the DPS play from Center was just bar none on
Vector took matters into his own hands and decided, all right, I'm tired of these guys. And just cleans house with a quick 5K.
I think Center, they recouped after the loss on Route 66, and they really made a point to use those ultimates better and be assertive, but also not get overzealous. We saw Vector time and time again on those flanks with the Death Blossom, not just in those last couple fights, but throughout the map. He was being very careful, even if he misjudged his TP like he did on that last Death Blossom. He wasn't just dying for no reason while trying to use his ultimate. And I'd argue that not dying is more important than getting those potential 1 or 2 kills, because then the fight is just over before it begins.
Yeah, and also Center did a great job of just keeping their composure, because not only did they lose Route 66, they lost the first fight pretty just, it was very one-sided that first fight was, but they brought it back pretty well, with them, not like running in and trickling in. They waited to group up, realizing the cart's not going to go a lot far.
Yeah.
And then once they got back together, they ran straight into U of L and took the fight for themselves.
So going to this map 5, I
think it's Lijiang.
So Lijiang Tower, I'd argue that that's a pretty rush favored map. So I think if I was a colonel on the roster, what I'd say, stick to that brawl comp. Utilize Vector's capabilities on Reaper, utilize James on that Sojourn as usual, and just keep the pressure on. Yeah. I mean, it's the momentum isn't just a singular map basis. It can stretch across multiple maps. Just mentally, and Center can maintain that. That's the key.
Yeah. From what we've seen, Center College is they take what they did poorly in the last round and seem to work on it a lot more. I think the ult usage was really good on the side of Center College. Maybe a little too good. There were a lot of points where, we were just holding on to ults where we could have used them and it worked out. So, whether it worked out because, Center's just massive brain and they're insane at the game, or, it was just luck. But, yeah, also I did notice there was a significant lack in swaps on the side of U of L. So, that could have also contributed to the steamroll that Center gave them.
Yeah, I'd say center. Center themselves. They usually stick to their guns. They're pretty confident in their picks. But U of L, we've seen throughout the match, has not been afraid to switch things up. In that map, they didn't do that.
Yeah.
And sometimes maybe they just got locked in the headspace that they thought it would eventually work, and it didn't. But that's okay. They've won 2 maps. They're confident in their ability to take down center. And on a map like Lijiang, I would argue that this could be the closest one in the series. It's just so back and forth, so many opportunities for fights to be won.
I think it'll be very interesting to see maybe what changes U of L makes. But yeah, we have seen throughout the series that the Colonels really like to run their rush comps. Their Zarya, Lucio, BAP core is like really strong. So I wouldn't be surprised if we see that in the upcoming matches as well. Same with U of L. The rush comp for U of L hasn't been as dominant as Sinners has, but U of L has come out of left field with some crazy comps that just work. So
yeah, as you're saying, with the dominance of Sinners rush, the last control map we had, the first map of the game, that was by far the most decisively won map of the match, and Center took U of L down 2-0 in that one pretty swiftly. And I'd argue, Busan is a fairly similar map in terms of structure and the way you approach fights. So if Center can take advantage of that once again, I think we might see a Colonel victory.
Yeah, the only thing I fear is Lijiang Garden. We know that U of L is not afraid to run Pharmacy, but Center has not shown us that they play any true hit scans. So
that's true. We've only seen on the Colonel side Sojourn, Reaper, and Genji, and dealing with the Pharaoh is much bigger than just the potential diva pick from Galvanijo. So that might force some adaptability to be necessary on Center's part. Even on this map,
Pharaoh can be a threat.
Yeah, on Night Market, if you play those roofs and those windows correctly, she can be a big problem.
And it looks like both teams are running a Symmetra strat here, but I gotta say I do like Center's Symmetra strat a little bit more. It's got a bit more heals, a lot more just straight up damage, and I'm seeing some weird ritual from Chonky Ghost and Vector here. Maybe it's for luck or something.
Yeah, I really enjoy seeing the Symmetra mirror on Night Market. I think I find it much more fun to watch than a Pharaoh Mercy comp coming out. But Center,
Vector's not.
Oh, a great play for Galvanijo!
Galvanijo with the charge!
Galvanijo with an immediate 3K on the U of L. A fantastically calculated charge. He's going to get 4 kills in this opening fight, and it's already 75% of the way to his Earth Shatter.
Galvanijo is not playing around on this map. He doesn't need to be bald, dude, diva, or whatever. He's making those environmental kills for himself.
The Colonel's got straight down to business there.
Yeah. Galvanijo really took that fight. He made it his own.
I was a little worried that Vector missing the teleporter would knock things sort of awry. But Center's going to TP back to point here, and U of L is going to follow them towards the point eventually.
Yeah, I think Center wants to take a fight on point here, as we see a swap off of the Symmetra for U of L. So Poke just puts Center at risk of getting one shot like Adama just did to the Soldier.
I don't think U of L was quite ready for the Earth Shatter, but Galvanijo,
I don't think Center was quite ready for the Earth Shatter either. What? Chonky Ghost keep? I was really thinking Chonky was going to commit the Coalescence to keep Galvanijo alive, but it doesn't seem like he needs it.
Oh my goodness! What a Coalescence from Chonky Ghost to bring that back.
The beam team just lasered.
The beam team. And now we've got another member to the Beam team as Galvanijo makes the swap on the Zarya.
But we do see a swap to the Pharmacy like we were talking about earlier. Yeah. That could be an issue for Center to deal with here, considering they have 0 people. Everyone on their team has a range except Adama, and I'm not sure if Adama will be able to deal with the Pharmacy.
Yeah, I think they might be relying on Moira's right click to deal with the Pharaoh here. I'm not sure how I feel about that.
Oh, there goes Adama as well. And out comes some ults on the side of U of L.
Galvanijo looking to take down Sojourn, but to no avail. And now Center's kind of stuck between a rock and a hard place. I think they need to make some swaps as Hushames goes onto the Sojourn. But that's all the adaptations they're making to accommodate for this Pharah Mercy composition. We'll see how that fares for the Colonels.
Yeah, I'm not. I wonder if Soldiering is going to be enough. You know, she can obviously dink and take their heads, but she's got to build up for that. And like, you know, say a Soldier, or Ashe, or a Widowmaker. Oh, and Renzu just absolutely dinking our Vector here. They've been constantly putting out headshots, taking our teammates, and I think that has really been game-changing.
Oh my
the
goodness.
4K, but the 5K by Sean.
And this is what we mean with Pharah Mercy when we say Pharah Mercy is a bit oppressive. I mean,
Yeah.
5 kills. I mean, 4 kills in about a tenth of a second, if that, and
Yeah.
the 5th one coming out, you know, no more than a second later, and
It doesn't seem like
that's what happens when she goes unchecked.
it doesn't look like Sinner's making any changes here. It looks like they're building up their own ults and thinking they can, as long as they kill everybody except the Pharah, what can she really do, right?
It really just is about a one-fight game.
Oh,
here.
here comes the Blossom.
He gets
It
one
kills
bubble.
Sean.
Oh, he
Can they
gets,
prevent the res is another question.
oh, there it comes out. The
They're
Mercy's
trying
low.
real hard.
They take out Surgeon in the process.
Mercy's
Yeah.
still super low. What are the team going to focus her down?
Galvanijo's Graviton Surge went to the ceiling
Ooh,
there.
but the cold.
He takes down the Mercy.
The Kitsune rush coming out from the U of L here is enough for Louisville to hold this fight. Like Galvanijo does take out Sean.
Time is ticking down, and Center lacks resources to retake the objective. They have a beat drop to try and stall it out, but U of L is creeping up on both DPS ults, and I don't know if Adamo's going to be making time.
Yeah, and that's the first round going to U of L. And just like we said, the swap to Pharmacy is destructive here. I've never seen momentum switch so drastically before. Like, and it was very immediate. As soon as they swapped to Pharmacy, Center had no way to fight them.
And if I'm Center right now, I'm loading into what we see as Garden. I'm a bit worried. I think this map favors Pharah possibly even more than the last one.
Yeah, I agree. And it looks like they're still not afraid to play her as well. U of L is sticking to their guns here. It's fair, and I don't think. I want to say Center doesn't think that they'll stick fair with the comp that they're running, but
Maybe it looks like Center's going to have a strong focus on playing the objective here and not really leaving, which does have a chance of working, but they have to be really careful about when and if they ever peek outside.
yeah, they have to be very careful peeking in all aspects. The Pharah could lay in so much damage, and the Soldier can one-shot them. So, oh, there's a kill on Conky Ghost by the Pharah. Like I was saying, the not swapping to deal with the Pharah is going to cost them.
There goes Center's second damage, or first damage. Second player, and Galvanijo frantically swinging, trying to make some sort of impact onto U of L's roster, but to no avail.
Yeah, the Pharah pick is absolutely destroying Center right now, and they're really not doing much about it.
A Winston pick coming out from Galvanijo. I'm not sure how much impact this can have, though, just seeing as how much movement the supports of U of L have, and the DPS as well, considering they're on both Sojourn and Pharah. Center just scrambling around the map here, trying to get some damage out.
Joda Pro just not, or Joda Pro hopping onto our Kiriko immediately. Ujin's with the kill on Sean, though. That might be what Center needs to bring this fight around.
The Winston bubble had a strong impact on denying who's damage that other kill, though.
Oh, but Sean coming in with the barrage. And that seemed to be what U of L needed to stop the momentum. And you hate to see that. Okay, this fight is so volatile. I don't know what's going on. Galvanijo building his primal raid isn't enough to kill the Kiriko, though.
Kiriko teleports away.
But Kiriko dies to who's James?
This has just been all over the place. This might be the longest fight we've seen all night. A nice shot by Who's James to chunk off the Pharah, but he goes down.
But not enough as the Mercy's still on the Pharah. But Vector takes the pick. Vector gets the Pharah.
Center looks to have a slight numbers advantage here. The Mercy goes down for U of L. The Joda Pro takes out Tonky Ghost. Vector takes out Joda Pro in response, and the center is up 3-2 on U of L now. The Sojourn returns for the Cardinals, and the Fair still peeking through the window, getting pot shots on the center. She makes a move into the point.
Oh, and Vector's takes her out.
And center eventually captures the
But
objective.
after how long?
It was quite a long time, and you know, U of L's got 89% capture to their name, and the Colonels still have another round to fight if they manage to pull this comeback off.
Yeah, it really means that this is just down to one fight, honestly.
And we're seeing lots of ultimates at the ready from both sides. 4 on the side of U of L and 3 on the side of the Colonels. Galvanijo making an effort to put some early pressure onto the back line of U of L.
But Joda Pro's doing the exact same thing on Adama. Who's James gets the pick, though?
He gets 2.
Huge pick.
Oh, 3 by Who's James gets the mercy. Not
Who's
no
James
less.
is not. He refuses to give up this yet.
Can you take out the Farah? Oh,
my
Who's
God.
James?
Who's James? It said, "I am a true hitscan," and just starts laying into them.
And Center did a great job there of not using too many ultimates, just one coming out. But you know, U of L did not use any of theirs,
Yeah.
and they're about to come up on all 5 sometime in this next fight.
I want to say the beat is going to be very crucial in what happens here, but with the amount of just stuff that's going to be coming out on the side of U of L, this might.
Who's James takes down 2.
But Adam doesn't get the beat off before he dies.
And neither does Vector get off his death blossom, so Galvanijo is the only center player remaining at this point. He's got his Primal Rage at the ready, but he's not going to have anyone else joining him for the test for another 5 or 6 seconds. He's on the supports on the back line, possibly knocking Kiriko off, but instead the Kiriko uses her teleport, and the Mercy flying all around the point. Galvanijo doing some pretty heavy damage.
But
on
here
her.
comes Adama and
Vector
Vector with the beat in the blossom, and it seems like it's enough.
Oh my
Vector
goodness!
came in.
Center was quite the
decided he
comeback.
ain't done yet. Vector is not done yet.
Great work by Galvanijo to hold on to the
Absolutely.
point there.
Galvanijo, I think that was insane. If Center wins this round, it's because of Galvanijo.
And, you know, he was followed up though by great ultimate from Vector and a good beat
Yeah.
drop to ensure that
Oh,
they
good 2 picks on the side of Center here. That might be what Center needs to take this round home.
is Tonky Ghost going to be able to take out the Farah.
Tonky Ghost is the Farah fighter now, so this will be very fun. Vector taking out the Farah.
The Primal Rage comes out from U of L, but Center to complete the comeback in this round. And we are going down to the final round of map 5.
This is so intense.
I can't say I called it, but I think I did. This is the closest map of the series so far, with the exception of that first round where, you know, U of L kind of took control. But that, I mean,
I'm
Garden.
very interested to see if they stick the Pharmacy pick here, because Pharmacy is what's been really doing them in here. But it looks like they are swapping.
Looks like the smart choice though, because I'm not sure.
I'm not sure Fair works great on this map.
Yeah, not nearly as well as the other 2, but Center, the comeback there,
Ooh.
the focus, I mean, the stress that they endured throughout that round was just unbelievable.
All right, now Center, we're really banking on them bringing it home here. The swap to Zarya here and the swap of Monkey to Reinhardt could be very big for both teams.
And some pretty heavy brawl on both sides. The Center is lacking a true shield, but they've been running this Zarya sort of hybrid throughout the map, so I wouldn't be unconfident if I were them.
I understand they can't get too deep in there as they don't have a shield, but Vector's 1v1ing their Reaper. Oh, Sean taking out Chonky Ghost though. Got a little bit overzealous and pushed up a bit far. And without their main healers, there's no way Center can take this. Yet Vector goes down, and Center really has to get out here.
Galvanijo making an effort to maintain his high charge
We
early
do
in the
see a
round.
swap off of the Moira here for that piece as well.
And I like that because in this Brawl v Brawl matchup, you're going to build those amplification matrices so quickly.
Yeah.
I mean, there's just so much damage being done on both sides. And not only is the amplification matrix crucial, but the immortality field has so much use against that comp.
We see Graviton Surge here is at 80%, with Vector TPing behind, hopping onto the supports.
Yeah,
I think that might be where Center can, take the advantage here. It's just, okay, well, they don't have as much heals as Center College does.
Kitsune Rush really doing a great job of pushing the Colonels back, forcing them into their own territory, and as we creep up on 50% for the Cardinals, they've got the
All right, here comes the grab by Galvanijo here. Is it enough to be meaningful though? It's the question.
And a nice beat drop from U of L there. As no one falls on either side yet. But
Oh, Vector taking out Sean. And then Jodapart going down. It's really all up. This should be enough to clean up. Ooh, but the dink on Vector. Galvanijo running in. I've noticed it's going at a pretty normal speed.
He's got an overclock coming out from Who's James. Takes down Lucio.
Take down Lucio.
Nice flick across the screen. Looking for the Sojourn now, but the overclock came out.
Oh, Jodapart with the double! Jodapart came back in time.
And things are not looking too good for the Colonels here. But Vector comes out with the Death Blossom. Only gets one.
Oh, no.
And now it's looking like we're going to need another last-ditch effort by Center to try and reclaim the point.
But no ults are no ults are here right now.
Yeah.
And they're not going they're not in there.
Is Center going to be able to touch? I don't think so.
Touch. Oh no, that's
U of L
the theory
wins
going
map
to
5.
U of L.
And I can't say that last round of Lijiang really reminded me of what we saw previously from Center throughout the map. You know, it seemed a little discombobulated. It seemed like the fights almost went on too long, really, for them to really understand, you know, the tempo of the fight. And things just weren't happening. That's the only way to put it. And
it definitely looked like the pressure had gotten to Center College. They weren't on their A game in that last fight, or at least it didn't seem like it.
And honestly,
that.
I can't fault them too much because the intensity of that second round of Lijiang and just the amount of pressure that they had on them going into that last round was brutal. And, you know, they fought hard. It was about as close as it gets, and I think U of L definitely earned that win.
Yeah, great game to both players, or both teams too, honestly. They did really well, and I think that, the way that they went back and forth was just so entertaining to watch. It was amazing. Like that, yeah. Good GGs to all the players all around. Everyone did great. It was such a good game to watch.